This will probably be a short video because I can't run the AC when I'm doing these recordings, and it is hot out already this morning, and I just got out of the gym. It's double hot. So, and I don't want to try to drain too much out of her name, but I've done 2 videos so far on Tulsi Gabbard. I'm just going to mention really quickly. I'm kind of disappointed in her. Not even kind of. I'm very disappointed in her, and not just her, but all these politicians who went on to Twitter and had something bad to say about the Independence Day celebration in D.C. To me, again, partly because I'm a veteran, but I think more partly because of the way that I was raised, the American history teacher that I had, and the family I grew up in that was pretty pro-America. And then my understanding, what I did study in college was I have a pre-law degree. Basically, that ends up being a lot of constitutional law studies. So I studied the Constitution, I think, fairly in depth. And understanding its place in history, it's a pretty amazing thing that we, at that time, and even still to this day, founded a country, especially back then, that was based in self-determination. The consent of the governed being the cornerstone for the republic, and then laying onto paper, enumerating the unalienable rights. It's pronounced unalienable. What it basically means is unalienable. You can't put a lien on these rights. So you can't abridge or put any kind of a lien like you have on a property on any of these rights. And those rights they're God-given rights, not given by the government, but you're given to them by your birth, by the idea that you're a sentient human being, whether you believe in a God or not. The fact that you're a free person means that you have the right to speak, you have the right to address your government for grievances, you have the right to a free press, you have a right to practice whatever religion you want, you have a right to protect yourself. All those things, that a country like this was formed, especially in those days, and the fact that we have to fight for it all the time against governments or ruling bodies who don't want to have people govern themselves. And in that way, I point to the royal families, and I don't care what you say, the royal family still holds a lot of power. They just do it very quietly because they know if they do it out front, it'll be shunned upon. And they figured out a long time ago it's much easier to just do it through covert means. So don't think for a second. The royal family owns all of Canada, all of Australia, and a fair amount of the other land in the world. So they've got power. Now, whether they're running everything, there's some people make that argument. I don't know that I'd make that argument. But they've got a lot of power. And they are still pissed about the idea that we broke free. That all this land that they had in North America, all these resources that were here, and all the people that they could collect taxes on, which of course they still do through the Federal Reserve, that they don't control anymore. Anyways, the idea that politicians would come out on their Twitter or whatever and say, oh, it was self-aggrandizing and it was a bad idea to have a celebration. I disagree completely. We should be celebrating and feel pride in this great country, which is so standalone in all the world. Not to say that we didn't make our mistakes. Certainly we did. We're flawed people. People are flawed. They make mistakes. It's not perfect. We're working towards perfect. As I said before, when you set your goals, you should set for what the ideal is, but don't beat yourself up whenever you slip from those ideals. You just get back on the horse and you try again. You learn from your mistakes, right? You're trying to lose weight and you slip and you have a cookie one day. Doesn't mean you give up on the idea of losing weight. You just correct yourself next time. Put the cookies further out of reach. We founded a country with all these great ideas. Putting into place or writing on paper that these ideas, these rights that you have because of your birth, the government can't take away. And so we took them away every once in a while. The Patriot Act, we took them away. Well, you know what? We should learn from that and do away with the Patriot Act because it's doing horrible things, search and seizure and all that. So I still want to have a good debate season. I still want to hope that somebody from that side of the pile will show themselves to be, loving America, even with all of our flaws, down with having an optimistic message, not just a message of we're not him, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to run and you're going to vote for us because we're not him. It's a bad strategy. I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't want that kind of argument because, again, I can point to too much that he's done that I'm like, hey, we're still at peace. And I don't know that I buy the economic numbers, but somebody does. And perception in economic sense, sometimes perception is all that's necessary. Again, if he tears down the Federal Reserve and puts in a hard money system, Like, what are you gonna say? You can't argue with that. He made some off-colored use of off-colored language. God, who among us hasn't? Again, he's flawed. Anyways, please roll that back a little bit, Gabbard. Try to talk about how much you love the country and all the good things that we have here and how different we are from the rest of the world. And don't just pile in with the rest of your stage members, just piling on and saying that I'm not him, and doing everything opposite of him. When he does something good, just point out, you know what, I agree with that. That's not such a bad thing. That's not so horrible to do. Anyways, all right, I'm done for the day. I'm going to get some yard work done. Cheers. Whether you're calm, shy, or dapper, Earl's got you covered. Why don't you let yourself get covered in Earl? Visit our Threadless store at the link below.